So if you're in the crafting world, you've probably heard or you saw that Cricut did what I'm coining as a shock drop on some new machines, and as you can see, we got them, so let's talk about them. If you're new here, my name is Lauren and I'm a craft producer here at Makers Gonna Learn, where we strive to bring you inspiration, education, and motivation on all things crafty. But today I'm here to talk about the new Cricut machines and is it really worth it to upgrade? Stick around to the end and you'll hear our final results. So let's just talk about what happened. It was around the last week of February, we started hearing rumors of Cricut releasing a new machine. Now, if you've been in the Cricut world, you know that most of the time they really like to hype up new machines that are coming out and new machines that they are releasing. However, they were very, very hush-hush about this one. And the only reason that we started learning that they were going to release a new machine is because somehow there was an employee at a Michael that had posted a video or a picture of the new machine being released on February the 28th. So we did get a little bit of a heads up, but not really. I think it was just because of an oversight of an employee from a Michael's at a Michael's store. So I do think that Cricut did things a little bit different this time. They weren't hyping people up for the new release or for the release of the new machine. So let's talk about maybe why and the comparison between the Explorer Series 3 and 4 and the Maker Series 3 and 4, and are they really that different? So the first thing that we have to talk about is obviously the price point. The Maker 4 is going to come in at $399. And honestly, guys, the Maker 3, when I have found it at other places, is coming in right at $349 or even $399. So it's coming in at the exact same price. One thing I do want to show you is the fact that Cricut has already taken the Maker 3 off of their website. As we were putting information together to give you the actual specs of this, one thing that we noticed is when we come over here to the actual Cricut website and we're scrolling, here you have the Maker 4 and the bundles that you can purchase with it, and then the Explorer 4, but then scrolling on down, we have the Joy Extra, the Venture, the Joy is here as well. You can no longer purchase a new Maker 3 from the website. The only thing that you can purchase from the website is going to be a certified refurbished Cricut Maker 3 or a certified refurbished Cricut Explorer 3. Obviously, they do have the refurbished Explorer Air 2s as well, but if you're going to buy a new machine, especially if you're wanting to buy a Maker 3, I think that at that price point at $300, you're just gonna be better off buying a brand new one. So they don't even have a true brand new Cricut Maker 3 on the website anymore. Now I did go to Michael's, so over here at Michael's you can see that they do have a brand new Cricut Maker 3, but for $399, which if we come back over here to Cricut, we can see that the Maker 4 is also priced at $399. So it's kind of odd to me that they are the same price. But I do understand that this is a new machine. There are a few new capabilities that we'll talk about, but if you have a working Maker 3 or a working Explorer Air 3, I don't know. We'll look at the other specs and you can make the decision if you think you want to upgrade or not. I just want to make sure you all have all of the information going into it before you jump feet first and go ahead and upgrade and expect something completely different. So what are the actual differences? Here in a second, I'm going to show you a chart that lays out side by side what the Maker 4 has, what the Maker 3 does, same thing with the Explorer 4 and the Explorer 3. However, I immediately noticed there were some few differences. One obviously being the color. There are two new colorways that come in both of these machines. The Seashell, which is what you can get from the Cricut website, or you can get what they are calling this sage color, but this is going to be a Michael's exclusive. Next up is going to be the cutting speed. There is a little bit of a difference in the cutting speed, meaning both of these machines do cut just a tad bit faster. I'll show you the actual specs here in a second. Next is going to be improved accuracy. So there is a new optical sensor in these machines that enhances the cutting precision. So that is just a feature that they are saying. It does cut a little bit more accurate on these. And then of course, the next thing is going to be affordability, and I will show you what the Maker 3 was released at and what this was released at, and we'll go into a little more detail about that here in a second. So let's go ahead and jump over to our share screen so we can see the differences side by side. First up, let's talk about the comparison between the Maker 4 and the Maker 3. As you can see on your screen, we have the release dates, but let's talk about the cutting speed. So the Maker 3 can cut up to 8 inches per second matless and 5 inches per second with the mat. So when you look at that compared to the Maker 4, which has a cutting speed of 10 inches per second, whether it is with the mat or without the mat, it is doubling your cutting speed, especially if you are one of those types of people who uses the mat. Us here at Maker's Gonna Learn really very rarely use smart materials or matless cutting. 9 times out of 10, and actually it's probably a little bit more than 9 times out of 10, we're gonna be using the mat to cut. So with that mat, it is giving us double the speed versus what it was before. So that is very nice. Of course, the cutting force on both the Maker 4 and the Maker 3 are the same material compatibility, same tool compatibility, same dimensions, same weight. The biggest difference is going to be, once again, that color option at the bottom. There are multiple colors for the Maker 3, and right now for the Maker 4, we have Seashell and Sage that I talked about. And then let's look at that price at launch. So when the Maker 3 launched in June of 2021, it launched at a price of $429, which is quite a bit to invest in a cutting machine. So I do like that the Maker 4 is a little bit less, not really much, $30 less. But when you compare that to what you can buy a Maker 3 for right now, if you are in the market to just purchase a brand new machine, in my opinion, I would go with a Maker 4 versus trying to find a Maker 3. But if you have a Maker 3 and you just want to upgrade for other reasons, is it really worth it? I'm not really sure, because I still think the Maker 3 is an amazing machine. It's just going to depend on, do you have the extra funds? Do you want the new colors? And do you want that little bit of extra speed? Because really and truly, that's gonna be the biggest difference. So let's now look at the Explorer 4 versus the Explorer 3. So as you can see, our release dates, once again, the Explorer 3 was released the same time the Maker 3 was, which was in June of 2021. The cutting speed on this is going to be just a little bit more from the Explorer 3 to the Explorer 4. Once again, you can see that with the Explorer 3, it cuts up to 8 inches per second, and the Explorer 4 is 10 inches per second. That's just standard. You cannot do matless cutting on the Explorer series. You do have to use a mat, so that's why there is not a comparison between matless cutting and with the mat. It's just with the mat, standard went from 8 inches per second to 10 inches per second. Once again, the cutting force is the same, 400 grams. So when you go from the Explorer to the Maker, and we'll go back, the Explorer across the board is going to have a cutting force of 400 grams. And the cutting force with the Maker is going to be 4 kilograms. So a little bit of a difference there, but we'll go back. Material compatibility, once again, on the Explorer 4 and the Explorer 3 is going to be the same. Same for the tools. The dimensions are pretty much the same. Maybe you can see the numbers are a tad bit off, if you want to call that off, but those are the dimensions. They're going to be the same. Approximate weight is going to be the same. Once again, the difference between the Explorer 4 and 3 is going to be your colorways, which it does come in a Seashell and a Sage as well. And then of course, price at launch. So the Explorer 4 comes in at a price of $250 versus when it launched at $319. And y'all, that's about it. So the real main question is, do I need to upgrade my machine? In short, if you have a working machine that has not given you problems, I'm gonna say no. I really don't see the difference between the Maker or Explore 3 series versus the Maker or Explore 4 series. I don't think it's that big of a difference. Now, if you have a working machine, do you really need to upgrade? In my opinion, unless you just want the new color, I'm gonna say save your money. I do think that they are great machines. I'm not knocking the machines at all, but if you have a Series 3, whether it be an Explorer or a Maker, the difference between these machines and the 3 series is not that much of a difference. If you have an older machine, maybe you have an original Maker, or maybe you have an Explorer Air 2, or maybe you have a legacy machine and you wanted to get something new, absolutely. If you do not have a 3 series machine and you want to upgrade to one of them, 100%, I do think it's worth it, because I do love the Explorer and Maker 3 just as much as we have loved these two Series 4 machines as well. So if you have what we like to call a legacy machine, I do think this is going to be a good upgrade. If you have a working, like I said, if you already have a machine that's working, let's say a Series 3 machine, I just don't think it's worth it. But I'm going to leave that up to you guys, because these colors really are beautiful. I do love the new colorways. I think they are gorgeous. So that's the comparison between the Explorer and Maker 3 versus the Explorer and Maker 4. Let me know in the comments what you like, what you don't like, what you think Cricut should really focus on next time. We would love to hear it, because we love to hear your thoughts and opinions. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we get crafty. If you want to learn more about your Cricut machine, watch this video here.